वो अपने को सर्टिफिकेट्स का वो देख लेना आप।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल,
है ना, ठीक क्लियर है ना। मैं सुबह लैपटॉप पे था मीटिंग में, तो फादर का कहना था कि आप उस पे थोड़ा सा हो सकता है व्यू ढंग से आ नहीं रहा हो, तो फिर ये मोबाइल पे क्लियर है ना इसमें। तो
अविनाश सर,
जी सर।
जो फीडबैक की लिंक आप शेयर करोगे कितने बजे करोगे?
सर आप बताएं।
जैसे अपना खत्म होता है ना, आपका वोट ऑफ थैंक्स खत्म होता है उसके बाद, पहले नहीं, उसके बाद, है
वो
ना
बना
सब?
दिया है सर, मैं आपको भेज रहा हूँ, एक बार देख लो आप।
ठीक है, या तो
मैं
आप
भेज
बोलो, या आप बोलो तो मैं भेज देता हूँ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
मैं आपको भेज रहा हूँ, हाँ ऐसा कर लेना।
हाँ
मैंने रेडी कर लिया है, एक मिनट।
आ गया सर?
आ गया सर, एक बार देख लीजिए आप।
हाँ बिल्कुल, बहुत बढ़िया सर, ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही।
ठीक है ना,
बढ़िया,
ओके सर।
चलो सर, ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक यू सर।
आशीष सर, ऑल द बेस्ट।
ऑल द बेस्ट आप सभी को, आशय सर, रवि सर,
अंकुर सर, आपको भी ऑल द बेस्ट।
सर।
चलो, लिंक शेयर कर दिया आपने।
सर वो लिंक अंकुर सर अभी कितनी देर में करेंगे अपन
कर
शेयर?
दी सर, ग्रुप एक पे आ गई, ग्रुप 1 पे आ गई।
देखो कुछ लोगों को भेजना है, मैं भेज दूं।
ग्रुप 1 पे आ गई सर।
ओके सर, ओके।
दो पे भी आ गई।
सर ये गणेश करके कौन है, वो वेटिंग रूम में आ रहे हैं।
गणेश यार, अपन मैंने तो किसी से शेयर करा नहीं है।
गणेश पी करके है कोई, मैं अब उनको कैसे एंटर करूं?
नहीं, अपन ने जो आपने लिंक दिया था ना, ये अपन जो अपना डिसाइड हुआ था मीटिंग में, उनके
जी,
उनके अलावा मैंने किसी से शेयर नहीं करा।
नील कुमारी मैम अपने रिसोर्स पर्सन है।
नहीं, मैडम इवॉन पॉल है। एक बार रफीक सर को लगाओ ना।
सर एक्चुअली ये 2-3 लोग नए आ रहे हैं, JPMR, नील कुमारी, ये कौन है, मैं क्या करूं इनको? आप प्लीज, आप जो हैं अब अनम्यूट कर लीजिए एक बार।
ठीक है।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग सेजल मैम।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
सर मैं इनके रिगार्डिंग क्या करूं? हेलो आशीष सर। हेलो।
हेलो।
हाँ सर, आ गए ना ऑफिस से? जी
बिल्कुल।
मैं आपको फिर से बना रहा हूँ होस्ट।
अच्छा, अभी बीच में क्या गड़बड़ हो गई थी?
सर आपके इधर से पता नहीं बाहर हो गया, मैं जब तक देखा तो आप बाहर थे।
ओके।
सर एक बार गेस्ट की लिस्ट आप चेक कर लीजिए पार्टिसिपेंट्स में जाके, मुझे एक दो नाम अननोन है मेरे लिए, तो मैं उनको कैसे एंट्री दूं?
गणेश पी,
हाँ, ये कौन आ रहे हैं?
शेख मीरा वाली,
हाँ, ये और एक ये नीला कुमारी जी कौन है? ये आशीष फुलकर जी कौन है?
आशीष फुलकर सर तो अपने रिसोर्स पर्सन है।
ठीक है, मैं उनको एडमिट कर रहा हूँ। तो मैं स्क्रीन शेयरिंग ब्रोशर स्टार्ट कर देता हूँ।
अंकुर सर
जी सर।
आ गए हैं आप?
जी जी जी।
बधाई आपको। कौन कौन आ गया?
सर आप पार्टिसिपेंट्स लिस्ट में एक बार चेक कर सकते हैं।
नहीं अभी अपने अपने ये वाले
हाँ, अपने 10 लोग आ गए हैं।
10 लोग आ गए हैं।
हाँ।
इसको बैक कर, क्लोज।
हेलो
वीर
सर।
अच्छा, ये तो है महेश तो। जी सर।
रफीक सर।
क्या कर दिया?
कौन कौन आ गया अभी?
मैम।
Good afternoon, ma'am.
जी मैम।
कौन कौन आ
पर्सन
गया?
साथ
कौन
है
कौन है?
और आशीष सर हैं, अविनाश सर हैं, रफीक सर हैं, रवि सर हैं, शेजल मैम है।
हम ऐड होने लगे क्या पार्टिसिपेंट?
पार्टिसिपेंट्स तो आ रहे हैं अपने।
पार्टिसिपेंट्स ऐड होने लगे क्या?
हाँ।
Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, sir.
पार्टिसिपेंट ऐड हो रहे क्या?
जी
या
हो रहे ना।
आशीष फुलकर सर कौन है?
कौन सा वाला आएगा?
फिरदा मैम गुड
आइडिया का आएगा
आफ्टरनून।
कि उसका आएगा? दोनों
फिरदा मैम
आएंगे।
गुड आफ्टरनून।
अपने आ गए कमेटी मेंबर्स। महेश सर बचे हैं।
आगे से महेश सर
आ गए सब।
जी।
चलो गुड।
सर आप वेलकम कर लीजिए गेस्ट का।
हेलो आशीष सर।
Good
हाँ जी,
morning.
गुड मॉर्निंग।
गुड मॉर्निंग आशीष सर, वेलकम।
Thank you. Thank you.
सबको स्क्रीन दिखाई दे रही है ब्रोशर वाली?
हाँ दिख रहा है सर।
हाँ सर,
अंकुर
दिख रही
सर,
है।
जी।
अंकुर सर,
हाँ सर।
अंकुर सर मैं बोल रहा हूँ, आशीष फुलकर सर है ना, अभी ज्वाइन करने के बाद फिर वो रिलीव हो जाएंगे। उसमें अपने को ऐड करना पड़ेगा 2 बजे के आसपास उनको।
हाँ ठीक है ना। आशीष सर के पास भी पावर है, आशीष सर भी कर सकते हैं और मैं भी।
हाँ आशीष सर और अंकुर सर आप थोड़ा ध्यान रखना। आशीष सर, आशीष फुलकर सर है ना, इनॉग्रेशन के बाद।
Thanks. Only thing is, if the host will let me in.
या श्योर।
Thank you.
अरे नहीं, हाँ बैठ रहे हैं।
आशीष सर के पास भी पावर है, आशीष सर भी कर सकते हैं और मैं भी।
हाँ ठीक है सर। अपने स्पोर्ट्स कमेटी के सभी लोग आ गए?
सब हो गए।
सब हो गए।
तो किसी के साथ में YouTube वीडियो भी चल रहा है, तो उसके वॉल्यूम को कम कर दीजिए, वापस से घूम के आ रही है ये आवाज।
हेलो आशीष सर।
हाँ जी सर।
सर मैं उसी नंबर से रहूंगा आपके साथ, मेरे वाले नंबर से ही ना?
Sure, 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 Rafiq sir.
हाँ।
So once again, thanks to all St. Paul team for inviting us.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू आशीष फुलकर
थैंक यू
सर।
सर।
थैंक यू आशीष सर।
सर आशीष सर आप तो होस्ट हैं।
Definitely, I belong to Indore, so it's I am part of it.
यस सर डेफिनेटली।
अंकुर सर पूरा वक्त अब वीडियो ऑन करना है क्या? पूरा वक्त वीडियो और ऑडियो ऑन करके रहना है क्या?
मैम ना करें तो अच्छा, बैंडविड्थ पुअर हो जाएगी। स्टार्टिंग में रख लेते हैं हम, बस उसके बाद
वीडियो ऑन रखना है क्या सर सभी को?
डेटा पूरा जाएगा ऐसा। जो
डेटा की
बेस्ट ऑफ
फिक्र।
लक कमिटी, अविनाश सर, रफीक सर,
थैंक यू मैडम।
बेस्ट ऑफ लक।
थैंक यू मैडम,
कुछ
थैंक यू।
बेस्ट ऑफ लक एवरीवन।
इस पे मीटिंग कर सकते हैं क्या?
अंकुर सर अपना ब्रोशर नहीं दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पर।
हाँ सर, वो मैंने हटा दिया था, 2 मिनट मैं फिर से इसको लेके आता हूँ।
अंकुर सर होस्ट कौन कौन है?
मैं हूँ और आशीष सर हैं।
आप अभी जब भी मूव करोगे तो आशीष सर देखेंगे, ऐसा है?
हाँ मतलब कंट्रोल उनके हाथ में भी रहेगा। कहाँ चला गया?
फादर सिस्टर आ गए?
नहीं आए अभी। ब्रोशर विजिबल है?
जी सर विजिबल है।
यस सर।
By the time everybody gets in, can the coordinator or someone can tell us how many participants are supposed to be logged in or are joining this webinar?
सर 1100 1100।
Oh, great. Great.
यस सर। अभी मॉर्निंग का बता रहा हूँ मैं, 1100 ने रजिस्ट्रेशन कराया था अपना।
Oh, good going, good going. So congratulations to your team.
थैंक यू सर।
I hope this time matches with the South African time, because Professor Yonepal is going to join, so she may have a time difference which we have to take in.
रफीक सर।
सर आप ऐड करते जा रहे हैं ना आशीष सर?
हाँ।
ठीक है, तो मैं फिर इसी का ही देखता हूँ।
आशीष सर,
I can't see your, yeah, now I can see.
हेलो,
हेलो।
रफीक सर।
हाँ विनाश सर बोलो।
मैं कह रहा हूँ ये जो प्रोफेसर, ये योने है या प्रोनाउंसिएशन इनका इवॉन आएगा? व्हाट्स
योने
राइट?
योने योने।
योने,
हाँ योने।
इट्स योने ना? योने।
योने।
ओके।
दोनों पे कर दिया ना इसमें, इसको तू लगा ले।
Student says it is already online on YouTube, I think. YouTube connection.
Yes,
So
it's online.
अंकुल सर, 2 रिसोर्स पर्सन है, वो भी ऐड होगा?
रफीक सर।
हाँ सर।
सर ये एक GPMR नीला कुमारी जी आ रहे हैं, तो ये इन्हें अपन एडमिट करना है अपने को।
जी क्या?
नीला कुमारी जी, नीला कुमारी, ये एक नाम से आ रहे हैं, GPMR नीला कुमारी।
नहीं, ऐसा कोई नहीं है।
नहीं अपन ने नहीं दिया सर।
अपन ने शेयर नहीं करा इनको।
तो उनको रिमूव कर दीजिए वेटिंग लिस्ट से।
लिमिटेड कैंडिडेट्स ही रखना।
हाँ लिमिटेड ही रखा सर, लिमिटेड ही रखा।
हाँ ठीक।
लिंक अपने जो
सर लिंक, सर एक बार लिंक का मैसेज आ रहा है और डाल दीजिए ना एक बार। क्या है?
लिंक तो सेंड कर दिए, तीनों ग्रुप पे डाल दिए मैंने।
एक बार और डाल दो यार, सब पूछ रहे हैं लोग, मैसेज कर रहे हैं।
अंकुर सर मैं डाल दूं अगर आप कहें तो, कॉपी करके
डाल दो।
तो मैं कर देता हूँ उसको।
नहीं, वो एडमिन है ना, वही
एडमिन ही डाल पाएंगे ना।
ओके ओके।
तो फिर से सेंड कर दिया।
ठीक है सर। हाँ सर, फादर सिस्टर को डाल दिया अंकुर सर?
जी सर, फादर को डाल दिया, सिस्टर को मैं सेंड कर रहा हूँ।
सर रिसोर्स पर्सन में किसने ज्वाइन किया अभी, आशीष सर के अलावा?
सैयद सर।
डॉक्टर सैयद।
एक मिनट चेक कर लेते हैं।
तीनों रिसोर्स पर्सन है आई थिंक।
बस तो फादर सिस्टर आ जाए तो फिर अपन चालू कर देंगे।
सिस्टर आ गई हैं।
हेलो।
हाँ
सिस्टर आ गई हैं।
सिस्टर आ गई।
बस उनका ऑडियो ज्वाइन नहीं हुआ अभी।
रफीक सर।
हाँ सर।
डॉक्टर सैयद आसिफुद्दीन के नाम से आए हैं, तो वो थोड़ा सा देखना रहेगा।
सैयद आसिफुद्दीन
में ना अजीम सर है अपने इसमें।
एक कोई शेख मेरालवी भी है, कौन है ये?
हाँ जी।
मैं एक मिनट सर से पूछ लेता हूँ ना, एक मिनट।
एक बार आप देख लीजिए प्लीज।
किस नाम
सर
से?
आप लोग यहाँ मतलब जूम मीटिंग में किस किस को कर रहे हैं अलग?
मैडम स्पोर्ट्स कमेटी है, स्पोर्ट्स
हाँ जी।
कमेटी है और फादर सिस्टर है, रिसोर्स पर्सन है।
इसके बाद तो वैसे भी म्यूट रखना ही रहेगा अपन को, लेकिन अभी अपन लोगों की
नहीं, इनके अलावा अपन ने लिंक भी, मैंने लिंक अपन ने इसके अलावा किसी को शेयर नहीं करी है, अपने स्पोर्ट्स कमेटी और अपने जो टीम मेंबर्स हैं इसके अलावा।
हाँ पर एक सर वो जो है ना अपने क्या कहते हैं, अजीम सर हैं, उनके ब्रदर ज्वाइन करेंगे बस, तो वो नाम इनका ये आ नहीं रहा है, वो आगा तो बता दूंगा आपको जब ज्वाइन करेंगे।
अच्छा,
तो ये JPMR नील कुमारी जी कौन है?
नहीं सर कोई नहीं
आ
है।
रहे हैं।
ये अनिल सर आ गए, अनिल सर का वेलकम कर दीजिए जरा।
आशीष सर को मालूम है कि किसको पास होंगे ना सारे।
हेलो।
अनिल सर आ गए हैं, अनिल सर।
अनिल सर वेलकम।
गुड आफ्टरनून सिस्टर।
धन्यवाद भाई साहब, धन्यवाद सभी को।
गुड आफ्टरनून सिस्टर, गुड आफ्टरनून सर,
सिस्टर, गुड आफ्टरनून।
गुड आफ्टरनून
गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड आफ्टरनून।
Good afternoon. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sister.
Good afternoon.
गुड आफ्टरनून सिस्टर।
Good afternoon.
अंकुर सर,
जी सर।
आपकी स्क्रीन शेयर हो रही है क्या ये?
हाँ सर, मैंने कर रखी है अभी।
तो वो कर दो ना सर, अपना ब्राउजर वाला।
ब्रोशर वाला ही तो है अभी।
नहीं सर, ये तो आपका आपका शायद स्क्रीन शेयर हो रहा है।
अच्छा अच्छा।
रफीक सर, आप टैप कर दीजिएगा तो आप जिस पे आप टैप करोगे वो वाली स्क्रीन आपको दिखेगी।
हाँ, नहीं वो सभी को दिखने के लिए।
नहीं, ब्रोशर ही दिख रहा है।
अभी नहीं दिख रहा था मैम।
सभी को दिखने के लिए यूट्यूब लाइव पे अपन लोगों के जो स्पीकर साउंड का दिखेगा।
हाँ।
सर व्हाट नेक्स्ट? एक बज चुका है।
हाँ, बस फादर आ जाए, फादर का वेट कर ले।
ओके ओके ओके, हाँ हाँ श्योर।
फादर का वेट करना है ना।
आने ही वाले होंगे फादर।
अविनाश सर, आपने फादर को आईडी पासवर्ड सेंड नहीं किया था क्या?
कल ही कर दिया था मैंने, सबसे पहले फादर सिस्टर को ही सेंड करा था।
कोई बात नहीं, मैं फिर से कर
कॉल करूं क्या फादर को? कल सबसे पहले फादर को ही करा था, फादर एंड सिस्टर।
Yes, and that's Vivek. No, Avinash.
मैं करूं क्या?
सिस्टर
अविनाश सर
कर दिया। नहीं, मैंने कर दिया फादर को, उनका मैसेज आया था।
अविनाश सर।
हाँ सर बोले।
नीला कुमारी जी का मैसेज आया फिर से, वो एक्चुअली एडमिट होने के लिए। तो ये अपने कोई इससे रिलेटेड तो नहीं है जिन्हें अपने को एडमिट करना था?
नहीं अपने तीन।
नहीं सर, कोई नहीं है।
ठीक है ठीक है।
हमने, और इनको आईडी कैसे मिला? मैंने आईडी किसी को नहीं दिया, अपने टीम मेंबर्स और फादर सिस्टर के अलावा।
अपने एक और रिसोर्स पर्सन कैकुब सर आ चुके हैं।
वेलकम।
एडमिट कर लिया अपन ने।
Resource person, you can admit here.
Yes sister, yes sister.
One message in the chat box, please check, Asha sir.
Yeah, please.
I am only participant, she is writing.
Okay. Acha, she is a participant, I suppose.
Participants are not allowed.
हाँ, that's why, yeah.
उनको जाने, पार्टिसिपेशन वाले को मत जाने।
बिल्कुल।
Just participant.
Not allowed.
Sir, there is one more Dr. Sheikh Meerawali.
Right, she is send the message na in the chat box. She is only participant.
So remove them.
Request them to leave the meeting.
Move, yeah. She will leave.
Yeah.
Whether in the chat box we can send a message that all the participants should come through the webinar link. YouTube link.
हाँ, YouTube लिंक से शेयर कर लें उनको। सर एक मैसेज डाल दो।
हाँ बिल्कुल।
जी सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर। आप ज्वाइन हो गए मीटिंग में? आप ज्वाइन हो गए ना सर? ज्वाइन हो गया सर। वो ब्रदर
नीचे कीटो भी है।
आशीष सर।
हाँ जी।
रिमूव कर दिया उनको?
हाँ जी।
आशीष सर।
हाँ जी, हेलो।
कर दिया ना, रिमूव कर दिया ना? कौन थे वो?
हाँ हाँ
हाँ ठीक है।
सर गणेश पी भी है ना?
गणेश पी एंड
चार दिन में कि नहीं चल जाएगा?
अविनाश सर, एक बार पार्टिसिपेंट्स को आप मतलब जो यूट्यूब पे हमको बता दीजिए कि वी विल स्टार्ट बाय व्हाट टाइम।
Ankur sir.
Yes.
Ankur sir.
Yes sir.
Few of the participants in the group 3 are joining actually. So if you can make me
Again,
the
I am to
yes
sign.
yes sir. So they are needing link actually.
Okay, so Reverend Father has also entered. He has also joined.
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon. Very good.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All the best.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Thank you, Father.
So can we proceed with the video now?
Yes, yes. मेरे साथ फादर आ गए ना, टाइम भी हो गया। अंकुर सर,
वीडियो प्ले कर दूं?
Please proceed. Please.
Les will unmute you. Mute your mic, please.
Start करें।
Please, all of you, mute your mic, please.
नमस्ते सदा वत्सले मातृभूमे, नमस्ते सदा वत्सले मातृभूमे, महामंगले पुण्यभूमे त्वदर्थे, पतत्ये शकायो नमस्ते नमस्ते, शुभमाशिषं देहि तत्पूर्तये अजय्या च विश्वास्य देहि शक्तिम् सुशीलं जगद्येन नम्रं भवेत् श्रुतं चैव यत्कण्टकाकीर्णमार्गम् स्वयं स्वीकृतं नः सुगं कर्येत नमस्ते सदा वत्सले मातृभूमे महामङ्गले पुण्यभूमे त्वदर्थे पतत्येशकायो नमस्ते नमस्ते सादरं त्वा नमामो वयम् त्वदीयाय कार्या शुभमाशिषं देहि तत्पूर्तये शक्तिं सुशीलं जगद्येन श्रुतं चैव यत्कण्टकाकीर्णमार्गम् स्वयं स्वीकृतं नः सुगं कर्येत नमस्ते सदा वत्सले मातृभूमे महामङ्गले पुण्यभूमे त्वदर्थे पतत्येशकायो नमस्ते नमस्ते सादरं त्वा नमामो
Yes, sir, you can proceed. Ashish, sir.
Hello. With this beautiful video, I welcome Reverend Father Simon Raj, respected Sister Dr. Alice Thomas, our resource person, honorary resource person, Dr. Uh, Kokab Azim sir, Professor Vyoni Paul, and Dr. Ashish Fulkar, to all the faculty members of SPIPS and all the dear participants to this international webinar whose title is Managing Physical Fitness of Body and Mind, organized by the Department of Physical Education of St. Paul Institute of Professional Studies, Indore. As is the custom, we start every event of the college with a divine prayer. So I request all the dignitaries to please close your eyes for the prayer. O merciful God, the everlasting source of strength, today, as we gather here for this international webinar, we commit ourselves into your kind care or divine power. Hold our hands in our weaknesses and teach our hearts to fly with you in these challenging times. There is nothing to fear, nothing to worry, and nothing to get afraid of, as you are our heart, you are our strength, and you are our hope. Embrace us in your arms so that we become stronger in our lives. In Lord's name we pray. Amen. Now, to proceed forward, I invite Sister Principal Dr. Alice Thomas for the welcome address. Sister, please.
Honorable Director, Reverend Father Simon Raj, today's resource persons, Dr. Asim from Saudi Arabia, Dr. Paul from Africa, and Dr. Ashish from Gwalior, and participants from different parts of the world, and my dear faculty, staff, students, a blessed good afternoon to all, and warm welcome to St. Paul Institute of Professional Studies, Madhya Pradesh, Indore, who organizing this international webinar. At the outset, I wish to thank God and congratulate the Department of Physical Education for organizing this international webinar titled Managing Physical Fitness of Body and Mind. May this international webinar motivate you, inspire you, and keep your body and mind fit for this special corona period. May the loving God keep you all safe in his loving hands. Do not be afraid. God is with us. Everything will pass away. Prosperity will come. So once again, I welcome all of you to this international webinar. Best wishes. God bless you all. Thank you.
Sister, to proceed ahead, I welcome Dr. Rafiq Khan to introduce for the resource person. Dr. Rafiq.
Thank you, Ashish sir. Respected Father Director, Dr. Simon Raj. Respected Principal, Dr. Sister Alice Thomas, and our today's resource person, and all the participants. A warm good afternoon to all. I feel highly delighted to introduce you to our first resource person of this international webinar, Dr. Kokab Azim. Sir is presently working as an assistant professor at Physical Education Department of King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals at Saudi Arabia, and Vice President of World Strength Lifting Federation, President of Asian Strength Lifting Federation, and President of International Federation for Fitness, Health, Physical Education. With his expertise in sports activities, fitness, health education, nutrition, weight training, Sir has produced outstanding bodybuilders of national and international reputation. Sir has been awarded gold medal in International Strength Lifting Championship at Kingdom of Bahrain in the year 2015. Sir has to his credit 90 best research papers published in various national and international conference and has been awarded the highest international awarded in 2019 on sports science at World Congress. We are really happy to have you, sir, among us today. Welcome, sir, to this international webinar. With the equal level of enthusiasm, I welcome our second resource person, Professor Yoni Paul, ma'am. Ma'am is presently working as one of the director of South African Biokinetics Boards of National International Relation. Ma'am is also presently Vice Dean and HOD of Sports Rehabilitation and Dental Science at University of Technology in South Africa. A doctorate in the discipline of biokinetics and sports sciences, ma'am had published numerous research papers in reputed journal and attended international conference number of times. We are indeed fortunate to have such a remarkable personality with us today. I welcome Paul ma'am from the bottom of my heart. The one who believes that with compassion in heart and patience in belly, we can learn and adopt new challenging situation is none other than Dr. Ashish Fulkar. Sir is presently working as Associate Professor at Department of Sports Management and Coaching at LNIP Gwalior, India. Sir is former Deputy Director of University Sports Board of Symbiosis International University, Pune. He has educational roots in Indore and completed his UG, PG, doctorate in physical education and sports sciences from Devi Ahilya University, Indore, India. Sir specialized 19 years of expertise in teaching and coaching the UG and PG students. He is net qualified and was recommended and accredited by IGCSE for teaching evaluating physical education and sports in June 2008. Sir has to credit 94 national international research papers and 22 research papers in national and international conferences. Sir has published 2 books on fitness management. We welcome Dr. Ashish Fulkar as a passionate resource person among us today. Once again, I welcome all sportive resource person. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafiq sir. Now I invite Dr. Kakub Azim sir, our first resource person for today. Azim sir. Hello, Azim sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, please.
I'm audible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very good afternoon to everybody. And at the outset, I'd like to thank St. Paul Institute of Professional Studies, Indore Department of Physical Education, for inviting me for this international webinar on managing physical fitness of body and mind. I'd like to thank the head of the department, the principal, Dr. Sister Elise Thomas. I'd like to thank Dr. Rafiq Khan, the coordinator of this international webinar. I'd like to thank all the faculty members and students of your institute and dear delegates. I take an immense pleasure to be part of this international webinar, and today's topic an innovative approach to monitoring resistance training. This is the summary line. What is resistance training? Types of resistance training, benefits of resistance training, principles of resistance training programs, research reviews, my contribution, conclusion, and recommendations. So what is resistance training? Resistance training is an exercise that causes the muscles to contract against an external resistance with expectation of increases in strength, power, hypertrophy, and endurance. There are types of resistance training includes using free weights, weight machines, resistance bands, and with your own body weight. This is a old school concept, own body weight training. And in the present situation, we're doing without any, with weights or with machines. In the COVID-19, this trend has come back again to doing the exercise with your own body weight, and which is very beneficial in the present situation, not only in India, around the world. So let us see what are the types of resistance training we have. We have free weights, that is classic strength tools such as dumbbells or barbells, weight machines, devices that have adjustable seat with handles attached either to weights or hydraulics, medicine ball, weighted balls, resistance bands like gained rubber bands. These provide resistance when stretched. They are portable and can be adopted to most workouts. The bands provide continuous resistance throughout the movement. Make your body your machine. Squats, push-ups, chin-ups. Using your own body weight is convenient, especially when traveling or work or in the present situation. You can see the different types of pictures showing clearly the types. On the left, on the corner, you can see they are doing front lunges. They are doing without any equipment, without any weight. They are doing with their own body weight. The front lunges, you can do push-ups, sit-ups, leg raises, scissors. You can do crunches, and these exercises are very good to improve your muscular endurance and fitness. Then the second picture you can do, you can see very clearly, is doing incline flies, which is beneficial for upper pectoral. So you're using some benches, or you are taking support from them, incline bench, parallel bench, plain benches. You can take any form of this one, and you can do your exercise for all your muscles. So you will take some free weight and you can do. The third one, the last one, you can see she's doing with the bands. This exercises you can do at home, and throughout the movement, you will have an effect on your muscles. And in the below, you can see the first picture. She's doing sitting flies, and which is good for shaping the inner pectoral muscles. And there are number of machines for all the muscles, for pectoral, deltoid, latissimus dorsi, for your thighs, calves. There are number of machines designed to improve your strength and for hypertrophy or for shaping. Then you can see the free weights. You have free weights exercises you can do for dumbbells. If you have one pair of dumbbell at home, you can do many exercises. Then you can see in the last, she's doing with the medicine ball for the core muscles, which is very, very important to maintain your core. And many diseases is related with our waistline issue. It is said that if your waistline is more than 39 inches, according to the International Diabetic Federation, if your waistline is more than 39 inches, you are prone for diabetes and you are prone for some type of cardiovascular problems. And according to the interestingly, according to the American College of Sports Medicine, you can see that they have key physiological benefits they have shown. Muscle strength, endurance, and power increases. Bone, muscle, and connective tissue growth, durability. Communication between brain and muscle. This is muscle coordination. Growth hormones, aerobic fitness, blood glucose regulation. So resistance exercise can help manage and treat many conditions, including arthritis, cancers, some type of cardiovascular diseases, dementia, depression, diabetes, hypertension, insomnia, low back pains, mental health, movement disorders, obesity, and others. So you can see the recommendation they have. Exercise plan you can do with free weights, machines or bands can be used. Perform 8 to 10 multi-joint exercises. What is a good example for multi-joint movements? For example, squats is the multi-joint movement. So what are the joints involved in squats? Squats is the king of all exercises. So when you do squats, your hip joint, your knee joint, your ankle joint, these joints are involved in your squats. So what is the single joint movement? Single joint movement is called isolation exercise for single joint movement. Single joint movement. For example, my elbow, I'm moving. This is called single joint movement. If you are doing front dumbbell press, that means your delt, your elbow, and your wrist is involved. So total joint movement. Total joint movement is given for basic training programs, which is very important. Then perform 2 to 3 sets and 8 to 12 repetitions, and this is with related with your volume, how you will play. Then with good form. Good form means you will not cheat. For example, this is a dumbbell. If I'm doing dumbbell curls, I should not move my body, only your hand should move, and you should not move your delt or your lower back. That is strict form of exercise. When you're doing for biceps, it should not affect on the other muscle. For controlling, for eccentric and concentric movement, you should count 2 seconds, sometimes more. If you want to give, you can, for quality of training, you can go until 5 seconds. Then we have perform exercises 2 to 3 times per week. It depends. I'm going to talk about this intensities, and it depends on sport to sport, individual to individual. It depends on your objective. And this is for the health, like for physiological benefits, you can do 2 to 3 times. Progress weight lifted over time so that it feels like 8 out of 10 difficult, where 0 is no effort. 10 hardest effort you can give. These are the principles. When we give any training program, we used to give based on these principles, called principle of overload principle, specificity, intensity, duration, frequency, variety, and recovery. So all these principles we have to keep in our mind when we are giving any program for health, or you're giving for the athletes for high level of performance. Then overload principle, what is that? Insufficient of training leads to plateau. For example, I will give you for example, he has to go for 80%. He has to calculate, and this based on FITT principle: frequency, intensity, time, and type. So when he calculates his intensity, it should be optimum, and 70 to 80. For example, he's doing 40%. I'm talking about for the athletes when we give the program. So if they are not doing 70 to 80%, if they are doing 40%, that means they are doing underperformance. They will not reach to their goal. And if he's doing more than 100% and cheating reps, that means he is doing overtraining. So they have to go, that ray goes very straight, and optimum training. and which will be very benefit for the athletes and for the health also. So otherwise, if you're training with the same intensity, that is called plateau, your performance will be same. You cannot improve yourself. Plateau, same. So specificity, target, correct muscle groups. For example, you are doing for legs. So the same day you will go for legs, and second day you will not go for the same muscles, because muscle needs 24 minimum 48 hours of rest to 72 hours maximum. Then intensity, low, medium, high intensity based on 1 RM. So they have weekly low intensity of training, moderate and high intensity. You cannot train high for all the weeks, because you have to recover. That is very important. Then duration, the total length of training program is important. Consider in terms of fatigue, recovery throughout the season. So based on our micro, macro and mesocycles, we have to see and we have to give the programs to our students. Frequency, training sessions engaged in a week. We have, for students, they are having practicals, they are involved, and we have to see how many days he's free. So according to his availability and availability of the coaches, we give the frequency. But for according to the American College of Sports Medicine, they said 2 to 3 at least 3 days in a week. And for bodybuilders, we give 6 days in a row for hypertrophy of the muscle, and we change every 12 weeks. We have program, and then we analyze it, and then we have variety of exercises, different exercises, grips, hitting muscles to develop a proper shape. There is a movement in, for example, I'm doing barbell curls, for example. If I'm keeping my thumb out, it will affect on my outer bicep. If I'm keeping inside, it will affect on the inner biceps. So there is a small corrections when we do this exercises, movement. So very, very important when we do type of exercise, the movements will be there. For example, for latissimus dorsi, the bodybuilders or who are concerned to get good shape for the back, they have to hit with different angle. We have long bar, short bars, EZ bars to have more variety. If you have more variety, you get good shape and develop in a overall development. Then we have recovery. Then muscles needs 48 hours rest. If you're going for HIIT, high intensity training, then you need minimum 48 hours to recover, because when you do high intensity training, the muscles are damaged. So when you give rest and you give a protein diet, good diet, then your muscle tissues are recover and get growth. So rest is very important part of any training program. And here you can see the table shows very clearly about the intensities and training goals. For strength, 80 to 90% is ideal. Power, 45 to 55%. And hypertrophy of the muscle is 60 to 80. But sometimes for this hypertrophy of the muscle, we have to see very complex training we have to analyze. Sometimes we have to see, for example, sometimes I give 8 sets, 15 sets for my students for barbell curls. They will develop, but some students, they will not. So I reduce the sets, then it shows the development in the biceps. So the small, the minor and major muscles we have to treat very differently. For legs, we have to treat different. For biceps, for triceps, we have to very, very complex muscles, we have to treat them. And for endurance, we have to go for 40 to 60%. Then reps per set, 1 to 5 for strength. And for minimum muscular strength test, for upper body is bench press, and for lower body squats is the minimum. They have to do 1 RM. 1 RM means maximum 1 time they will do it. They will exert for 1 time. And for power, they can do 1 to 5 times. Hypertrophy 6 to 8 is very ideal. 6 to 8 is very ideal in particular, but maybe specific for athletes. For other athletes, it's 6 to 12 is okay. For endurance, 15 to 60 depends on the program. Then the modalities what we have, because for particular sport, for particular athletes, we give different training protocols. For isometric, when you take weight in your hand, okay, you take weight in your hand, force is applied, but movement is not there, okay, and this is called isometric. You will not move your hand, but in the other words, you can see that it's moving. That is called isotonic, concentric and eccentric movement. And then we have isotonic, then isokinetic. Isokinetic, the exercise is given according to the weakness of the muscle, and the exercise is not done on the free machines. It is done only on the machines only. Resistance training program, according to the American College of Sports Medicine, claims that that the program manipulation of resistance training protocols, such as the training modality, rep duration, range of repetitions, number of sets, and frequency of training will differentially affect specific physiological adaptations, such as muscle strength, hypertrophy, power, and endurance. Dear delegates, please identify this training protocol. What is this training protocol? They are doing upright rows with weights, and you can see the step. They are doing combination of exercise, cardio plus strength training. This is very now there are a lot of research and going on that combining together, you will have more benefits, more effect, and this is very popular now. Resistance training program, when you give, you have to identify these things like what is label. When the student comes to you, you have to see is a beginner, novice, intermediate level, advanced level, you're going for pre-competition level, or is going for health or for performance. Then we have weight training. Weight training is done only on the machines, and weightlifting we have you will do only on the weight training will be done only on the machines. When you get some strength, you will go on the free machines, because you have to balance. But in the starting, you cannot give for the students directly for like bench press or squats. It's difficult for them. So when they get some strength, when they can balance, you can go for weightlifting. Then we have Olympic weightlifting. This is a sport. So when they learn weight training, they go to the next level, weightlifting, then they can adopt to the Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, strength lifting, bodybuilding. They can go for any sport, they can go from the weight training. Weight training is the base for the resistance training programs. I'm introducing a man, which is, he is the one responsible, he's the father of bodybuilding, modern bodybuilding. He designed numerous training courses beginning in the year 1950s, including the Veda system of bodybuilding. He is the one responsible who has promoted Arnold, and he was the governor for California. We know about him. He has won the 5 times consecutive Mr. Olympia. Then 5 years he was waited, and then again he has come back and won the Mr. Olympia when he was challenged. So 11 years, he say all times 11 years Arnold was won, and he was the man behind him. And not only Arnold, many bodybuilders he has produced. So known for creating the Mr. Olympia and IFBB, he has a franchise for the Joe Veda's equipments and many health products, and he has given a lot to the world. And you can see here, in 55 years, we have 15 champions for Mr. Olympia. This is a very professional, very high level of bodybuilding. When they become Mr. World or they get position in the Arnold Classic, when top they get professional card, then only these bodybuilders are, get entry for Mr. Olympia. Safety first. Arnold has written the book called Arnold Encyclopedia, written by Bill Dobbins. So in that he has mentioned no nonsense approach. It should be very sensible approach. So sometimes you want to show in the gym that you are strong, you can do it 200 kgs without spotter. So what will happen? Maybe you slip, anything can happen. For example, if the weight 200 kg fall on your hand, what will happen? You can go for surgery, put inside the foreign body, and then it will be okay. If something fell down on your neck, what will happen? No chance. No chance. So safety is important, and not for us. We have to look after our other classmates, other friends who are doing in the gym. So don't be smart, be sensible, and safety first for your training programs. This is background research. There are a lot of myths. Exercise increases the blood pressure. But what is that? So in the year 2016, 1 hour of session can reduce blood pressure. In the Scala, in the year 2016, Somani in the year et al. In the 2006 said that this is low intensity of exercises. And my dear friends, I want to share with you that if you're doing low intensity of exercise, which will improve your health, the quality of life, and improve your lifespan. But if you're doing HIIT every time, it will reduces your lifespan. So weight training is good, but if you're doing with light weights, this is for one and all, but not for athletes. Athletes, they will go for HIIT principle. Background research improves insulin sensitivity and glucose tolerance, effective to reduce metabolic risk factors in diabetic patients. Park et al. In the year 2016, Esugra in the year 2016, Strasser in the year 2013. And body composition plays an important role. I don't want to go in deep, but I want to say one thing. Please check your body weight every month. Prevention is better than cure. If your body, there is a changes in the body composition, if your body weight increases, that means it is the door of many diseases. So you have to control your body composition. Beatty et al. In the 2016 and others, you can see they have done the research and they find a significant results on overweight and obese children. This is my contribution. Some of my contributions I'm writing here. It was presented in the Newcastle Tyne-Apple in England. And the purpose of the study was to find out the effect of weight training on sprinting performance, flexibility and strength on 20 students. So it has shown a significant results, and it was published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine in the year 2010. Then I was fortunate to attain the very high this one STEAM conference, NSCA, National Strength and Conditioning, at Murcia, Spain. It was also published in the Strength and Conditioning Journal, and I will read out. Where is this? Here. I've done this one, and there was, you can see this was done on novice students. They were beginners. And after 12 weeks, we find that the sitting calf raises, they improve 39%. Standing leg curls, they improve 50%. Adductors and abductors, they are more than 50%. Then lastly, we have leg extension. They have improved with 58.57. This was presented in Chicago at the international conference, and I've received the Best Paper Award, and it was published in the Journal of Sports Medicine in Doping Studies, and it was significant results because due to the time, I'm not giving you all the details. It is online on ResearchGate and Google Scholar. You can go ahead and you can refer. And 2016, I was fortunate to attend the 34th World Congress on Sports Medicine, influence of different intensities of resistance training on strength, aerobic, and explosive power among males. So attended at Ljubljana, Slovenia, and was published in the Sports Journal. And recently, it was in the year 2018, I was also invited as speaker in the Romania 18th International Scientific Conference, Perspective in Physical Education at Constanta, Romania. It was published, the full paper was published in their journal, and impact of resistance training had shown significant performance among the underweight males. We have done, many people, they have the participants are neglected very much. So we have done on underweight males with regard to the selected fitness variables and muscular hypertrophy of the training protocols. We want to see that how much they can gain from pre to post tests. And these are my some achievements as a bodybuilding official. I was served as a judge at Asian Bodybuilding Championship at Kingdom of Bahrain. And I was also fortunate to be the manager of Indian team for the Mr. World, participated as Azerbaijan, Baku. And these are some of my recommendations. And you can see very famous bodybuilder, very famous around the world, Arnold. He was sitting just front of his very famous pose, three-quarter pose of the back. Exercise is a medicine. According to my friend, Professor Skinner, he was the former president of American College of Sports Medicine. Whenever he starts his lecturing or giving any presentation, he says that exercise is a medicine. So dear friends, don't take medicine, but do exercise. Consult your doctor and take his professional advice before you start any exercise. Select a professional gym for training. That means the equipment should be in a proper angle. If the machines is not in a proper angle, it will affect on your joint and the muscles develop in a wrong shape. So you have to select a very good gym. It should be a professional gym. Take exercise program from the professional coach, not by just copying or taking from the internet. No, what works for one will never work for other. For example, ectomorph, we have different body types, ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. So these types of body, they need different training programs. Do not take anabolic steroids. Say no to it. It's very harmful for the health. Only this is a business. People wants to sell it. I am, as a bodybuilder, as a senior, I'm telling to you, nobody, and don't encourage your students to take anabolic. It has a very negative effect on the body. Maybe in future, they will maybe get some cancer. Do not take any cheap and new food supplements, because we don't know what types are new one. But if they are tested and recommended by the doctor, then you can take it. But many people, they say that, okay, Megamas, take this. Your body needs or not, we don't know. For supplements, if it is you are taking more, it will come out through your waste, from your urine and waste. So if your body needs it, you have to take. Otherwise, don't take any supplements. Improve knowledge and share with students and friends. Very, very important before you do any exercise or you do take any nutrition or diet, you have to read from authority, not from all of them. You go for encyclopedia, go for any ACSN, American College of Sports Medicine, or go for reference. I'm talking about. We have to listen to our doctors. Take a balanced diet, exercise regularly, and maintains quality of life. Thank you very much for patience listening. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your comprehensive and golden tips on bodybuilding and exercise. For the question and answer session, I invite
Thank you, Ashish sir. Azim sir,
Yes.
we have a 2 or 3 questions. So what is the right age of start?
For physical activity, children can also
resistance
involve, but
training.
for resistance training, 13 years is minimum. He should attain 13 years. For Arnold also, he has started at the age of 13 years, and he has become at the age of 16 years junior Europe, and 17 years he has become. So 13 years, if he has a good development, he can start with 13 years. With light weights, he can go for light weights, and then go for the next level slowly. He can go for the, but he should not go for directly for heavy weights. Start with low intensity, adopt, and go to the next level, which is very important. So that it will not affect on the growth, because the student they have the growth until 21 and development until 28, as we know. So it should not affect on their growth and development, and they should be given good diet and good physical activity. But strength training can be done by own body weight. They can do some physical activities. They can do from 13 years. They can do if they are having a good growth.
So is this the right age of any Indian player also, Indian climate also?
That's what I have told you, that they have good growth. For example, some boys, they have very good background with good nutrition. At the age of 10 years, he looks like 15 years. So he can start his exercise, because sometimes now recently last summer, one of the boy from Egypt, he came to us. He is just 9 to 10 years old, but looks like 14 years. So we started giving him aerobic exercise. His father is professor, so we started him from 9 to 10 years, and he lost some weight with us. But we give very, very light intensity of exercise for him. We are not like bodybuilders are giving high intensity, but he can involve in some type of rest and training exercises.
Okay, thank you, sir. And my second question is that, how many sessions training in a week is important for better performance, sir?
For depends, like American College of Sports Medicine for health, they have given suggestion for two to three times in a week. For bodybuilders, we give, for beginners in the off season, we give 3 day, 1 day off, 3 day, 2 day off for the basic training program in the off season. But for the on season training program, we give 3 days, 1 day off, 3 days, or 6 days in a week. It depends on his performance and depends on his objective, what we are looking for. But for on-season training program, we give 6 days. He has to practice. For example, we give chest and lats. So he will go for 3 days in a week, 3 days. Legs, he will go for 3 days. And shoulder and arms, he will go for 3 days in the competition, pre-competition training program. But in off season, he will go for only 2 days for each muscle.
Okay, sir.
For bodybuilders, I'm talking about. But for
bodybuilders,
it depends on our objective. For regular, for health, we give for 4 days in a week, 4 days or 5 days in a week with low intensity of exercise.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, nowadays, youngster want to develop his abs workout. So best exercise for abs, suggest the best exercise for abs, sir.
Yeah, when people start the abs exercise, they complain about low back pain. So
yes, sir.
Doing this exercises is very complex. That's what we are. This exercises, you have to learn the dexterity. This is called doing with perfection. Doing with perfection. For example, you're doing sit-ups, so you have to bend your knees and you have to go up until you can reach to your knees and slowly go back. So breathe out and breathe in. This is very basic for the for these exercises. Otherwise, if he feel little bit strong, if he hold the breath, and what has happened, he damage his lungs and the blood pressure shoots up.
Okay.
So both health wise and your shaping your body. So sit-ups, crunches, side bends, leg raises, seizures, burpees, planks, stick work, dumbbell side bends. You can do these exercises for your core muscles. So because we don't have any bone in front of your abdominal. If your abdominal is weak, you will complain about your lower back pain. So you have to make your abdomen like a wall so that you will not get pain in the back. So people, they want to treat the back, actually they have to treat their abdomen. If you have a big abdomen, you start complaining, you have a back pain. This is weak because we don't have any, only spinal is there. So that's why you have to make your abdominal, very core muscles strong so that it's work in between for upper limbs and lower limbs, so that you have to make it very strong. And you can do 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions. Start with 10 repetitions, and then slowly, gradually, you have to increase the sets and reps as per your objective.
Okay, thank you, Azim sir. Thank you so much. Very informative session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Azim, sir, for your presence. Now, I would request Dr. Rafiq to invite our second resource person, Professor Paul. Rafiq, sir.
Professor Paul is here.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome, Professor Paul.
Thanks. I would like to thank the St. Paul's Institute for inviting me to be a speaker on your international webinar. And thanks to the HOD, Dr. Thomas, and to the coordinator, Dr. Khan, and to the different delegates that are present today. I'm going to share my presentation, and in a moment. Okay, the topic of discussion today is going to be exercise as a rehabilitative tool. And I see my co-speaker has already elaborated on exercise is medicine. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. To start off the discussion, one needs to understand what is the understanding of exercise is medicine. And you would find that, just give me a minute. Okay, it's better. You would find that in many circumstances, it is a global health initiative managed by the ACSM. And it's basically physical activity that is used to promote clinical standards and thereby connecting healthcare with evidence-based physical activity resources for people everywhere and of all abilities. Exercise is medicine was initiated in 2007, and it was done by a physician in response to the compounding epidemiological evidence showing a positive association between sedentary lifestyle and illness. You will find that the aim of exercise is medicine was basically to advance the goal of helping physicians use exercise easily as they use medication. However, there were 3 barriers to these goals. The first barrier was, for physicians, it's easier to prescribe a pill. Secondly, it's difficult to counsel patients on lifestyle. And third, many societies don't pay healthcare professionals for exercise management. Therefore, the physician's duty was to prescribe exercise to help prevent and cure many non-communicable diseases known as NCDs and deaths that are associated with physical inactivity. Are we getting the right dosage of exercise? Regular exercise improves, as we all know, your overall health and prevents NCDs such as heart diseases, diabetes, cancers, depression, as well as Alzheimer's disease. And there was a question posed to my co-presenter on the lower back pain. You would find that the core muscles plays a very important role with regards to the lower back pain and how you would execute your abdominal exercises. Lack of regular exercise is a single most important contributing factor to mortality, and more so than obesity, smoking, diabetes, or any other factors. And you would find that with regards to inactivity or loss of physical activity, this contributes greatly to the loss of health-related quality of life. And it becomes more so as you advance with age. Now, the South African perspective, I'm going to touch very briefly on this. Our South African perspective on exercise is medicine is that besides inactivity, we have the other burden of HIV and communicable diseases on the other hand. You would have chronic diseases, which includes chronic disease of lifestyle, commonly a common disease, which is type 2 diabetes, which is in the increase. And you would find that our healthcare systems in SA is not keeping up with the burden. You would find between 30 to 40% of death in SA are due to non-communicable diseases. A large population in South Africa are inactive, and we are trying to postulate the essence of activity so as to prevent the increase in NCDs. You would find programs, quite a number of programs that have been initiated in South Africa to try and initiate more activity like the park run. The aim of the exercises medicine is to standardize preventative measure for many chronic diseases among the population in SA. And apart from our governance, the focus will be to promote exercise, and in 3 factors. One would be is in the public health promotion and education, in healthcare professionals, as with what exercise medicine is aiming to do, and coordination and dissemination of appropriate research. Now, I spoke about advanced aging. You would find that with normal aging, you would have poor performance. However, as you grow older, the performance decreases, and then you are faced with numerous onsets of conditions, which would obviously and inversely affect your performance. Now, the effect of exercise on health-related quality of life, and I had used the acronym, and as you can see on my right-hand side, would be the glass that is filling up, which is active. Aging can minimize various sicknesses. So the more active you are, the less likely you are to confront yourself with NCDs. And even if you do have conditions, you would find that exercise would assist you in managing your condition better. I'm going to briefly discuss the new normal to exercise during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we are all grappling the consequences of coronavirus, and it's easy to forget the most important component, which is exercise, which assists with our immune system. You would find that in South Africa, I've got the gender distribution below, whereby it stipulates 53% male and 47% male, and there was a total of 952%, which resulted in death. The cases as from yesterday was 45,973, with 2,550 new cases identified. And this was yesterday's statistics. And as you can see, it is on the increase. You would find that the age range 50 59 and 60 to 69 is the highest affected age range in our country. Now, why is exercise, why are people struggling with exercising? You would find that with the pandemic, most of our attention is basically to protect ourselves, our families, communities during the pandemic. Perhaps it should be because physical activity can be a valuable tool for controlling the COVID-19 infection and maintaining quality of life. Now, I've got quite a lot of information, and I'm going to touch on the very important ones with regards to the effects of exercise that is acute and chronic on the body's immune system. You would find that your immune system tends to be a bit more stronger with exercising, and it helps protect the body from viral illnesses. There is evidence that exercise reduces depressive symptoms in people, and including the number and severity, as well as the acute and chronic symptoms of anxiety, which is commonly presented in the COVID-19 pandemic. Our first potential to reduce the severity of the infection is, how does one do it? Now, you know, with the pandemic, your lungs are the organ that is affected and infected. You would find with the immune system, it detects the virus invaders in the lung and attacks it. The conflict between the virus and the immune cells would inversely cause an inflammation, and the inflammation obviously causes damage to the lung tissue and interferes with breathing. And that is where the exercise regime play an important role. When you are active, your muscles produce compounds that improve the functioning of the immune system and reduces inflammation. Thus, physical activity strengthens the biological processes that react to the infection. Second, you would find that there's prevention of a number of conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, cancers, and these all increase the risk of severe illness and death among those infected with the coronavirus. And physical activity has already been widely postulated, and it shows the effects of promotion of a healthy lifestyle. Now, with regards to physical activity, it has immediate effect on the immune functioning and inflammation. Taking your medication daily can reduce the risk of several viral infections as well, and the risk of multiple chronic diseases by simply taking a walk every day. So walking should be seen as the basic default of exercise. If you are able to walk, so the default of exercising should be walking. Thirdly, the symptoms of stress. Many people are stressed during the pandemic, and it is due to health threats, job loss, reduced income, and you would find that activity would assist in the mental well-being of a person. And we would regard that as psychological health being when a person is not in the right frame of mind or stressed out. Third, for people already feeling distressed, being active would help with psychotherapy as well. Most common physical activity, as mentioned, was with your walking. However, you need to maintain social distancing. And lastly, the body's response to the psychological and physiological stress can create imbalances between the cortisol and other hormones that negatively impact on your immune system. Now, with regards to the psychological stress, the underlying biological processes of COVID-19 is trying to restore your cortisol balance. that is basically another mechanism by which physical activity benefits the immune system and decreases inflammation. So the new paradigm shift would be, normally exercise was encouraged to lose weight or to promote a healthy heart. It has been found that regular activity improves the quality of life. So it's called the health-related quality of life. And in this circumstances, it is with or without lung condition. So physical activity counts as exercise from gardening or cleaning your house or taking a walk outside. So these are all considered as physical activity. One would ask, what is the relevance or what is the determinant of exercising with masks? In South Africa, we moved from lockdown level 5 to 4, and now from the 1st of June to level 3. The exercise window was extended to 6 o'clock, so we can exercise from the morning 6 up to 6 o'clock in the evening, allowing more time for outdoor activity. But the prerequisite for exercising outside, and it's mandatory that we use a mask. And there are a number of questions around using the mask, and you may notice that your breathing becomes more labor-intensive when you are exercising with a mask. And at times, I don't think any of us are used to using a mask and exercising, for the exception of when you're doing and executing a VO2 max. So one tends to struggle to reach your usual pace. You would find that there's quite a lot of information with regards to your breathing, especially in an area without proper ventilation, and that's indoor. Keeping your distance from each other is important. Covering your mouth, your nose while running is still encouraged, but it is difficult. Now, this all has to do with the so-called terminology referred to as breathing stream that can carry the virus particles, especially when runners breathe very heavily during running, and expel more respiratory droplets, which is known to spread the virus. Now, there's different opinions, and I've chosen one, Dr. Richard Martinello. He's an associate professor with infectious diseases at Yale University. And he said that it depends where you run and if you're physically distant or not. If you're running in areas where there is no one else running or limited people running, a mask may do little to protect you because you have proper social distancing. But if you are in a neighborhood or area where other people are also out exercising and it's quite dense, then a mask may reduce a risk. Now, we would associate using a mask, and the question came about on hypoxia or the increased amounts of carbon dioxide you inhale. A simple mask or a buff cannot replicate this effect. So one needs to be at ease. And it's in comparison to when you use a mask to reduce the amount of oxygen one inhales when you are training at altitude. And this basically benefits the athlete because their bodies start to produce more red blood cells and it's delivered to the different muscles, thus enhancing the performance during any activity. You would find that Professor Percy from Washington University explains that the mask remains an important step in reducing the transmission, and thus actions should be taken when you are exercising to utilize the mask. And using a normal cloth mask is safe during exercising, and it will not pose a risk or little risk to hypoxia. So running with a mask, one needs to try to exhale through their nose, as this produces fewer respiratory droplets than mouth breathing, and keep your mask drier and cooler. Don't try and increase your pace during this period of COVID. Don't push pressure on yourself to improve your performance during this time. Slack off to a pace that will allow you to breathe comfortably and work out the optimum heart rate while wearing a mask, because this is very unusual circumstances one needs to keep in mind. And you need to listen to your body and stop when you feel dizzy or fatigued. When you are really struggling to breathe, move away from other people on your route and uncover your mouth and nose for a short period of time. So problem will be is we have a paradigm shift. And the problem and solution would be to exercise 30 minutes of moderate activity, moderate exercising for at least 5 times a day, even if you break up the 30 minutes into 3 10-minute frequencies. Walking briskly, your walk should be moderately for about between 8,000 to 10,000 steps daily. And you know that the most important organs that are affected during exercising is your lungs and your heart. So the lungs bring oxygen to the body, providing energy and moving the CO2, while the heart pumps more O2 to the working muscles that are being exercised. Now, in both of these solutions, you would find exercise to be the primary solution. And you have obviously the add-ons, which exercise cannot coexist without nutrition. And you would find then with healthy aging, you have all the other factors: family support, pharmaceutical, mental health. I've touched on geriatric care, NCDs. With regards to disease prevention, you have to have your nutrition, reduce smoking, family support, and primary care as well. In South Africa, as compared to the other countries, developing and developed countries, you will find that there is a decrease in your life expectancy from 65 to 60, whilst in the other countries developed, there is an increase in the life expectancy as well as with the developing countries. South Africa is highest on the graph, and these are major risk factors, which includes inactivity, tobacco use, alcohol consumption, and I've slotted in high waist hip ratio, hypertension, and obesity. Now, what does, I think we are all cognizant of the sense that physical activity has an impact on your heart. By 40%, it reduces the risk of heart disease, reduces stroke by 27%, your diabetes by almost 50%, high blood pressure by 50%, your breast cancer by almost 50%, and colon cancer by 60%. And this overall percentages improves your health quality of life, health-related quality of lifestyle. Now, what is this? Health-related quality of lifestyle does not mean the absence of disability or illness. It can be that a person has a disability or illness, but is in a good state of wellness, or is exercising. It encompasses not only differences in the length of life, but differences in the symptoms and ability to function. Studies that were done in Japan that showed that in men, if you exercise 5 times a week, you have a better quality of your life. Sorry. Due to exercising, conflicting evidence about your frequency of exercise, which is required to elicit benefits of health-related quality of life. There's a lack of literature in South Africa that relates to your health-related quality of lifestyle. You know when to stop. There's different tests and measurements that indicate that you need to stop, but I have put in the following symptoms: nausea, dizziness, weakness, rapid irregular heartbeat, shortness of breath, pain, pressure on the chest or arm, neck, jaw, or shoulder. This is according to the American College of Sports Medicine. Decision. As mentioned, regular walking will allow efficiency. in this time of COVID. It can, improvements can work to alleviate the symptoms of lung disease. In order to address the progression of the disease, cellular therapy may be necessary. And in conclusion, most important action with new normal, which is the COVID-19 period, is to reduce the spread via social distancing, frequent hand washing. I think we've heard this a number of times. Avoid touching your face. And due to the multiple benefits, physical activity should not be an afterthought during the pandemic, as it has positive impact on your lung functioning. To be active should be a key recommendation. And you would find that in the USA as well as in South Africa, about 19% of women, 26% of men, and 20% of adults meet physical activity guidelines. So it means that many of the Africans as well as the Americans are under active with regards to activity levels. The take-home message would be active, which is aging trends are rapidly increasing. Aging, activity, and exercise can increase your health, which refers to your cardiovascular fitness, which inversely is related to your mortality risk. Minimize, which refers to your psychological, mental health, which can be improved in various ways, 2 or 3 times a week. Various, vitality, sicknesses, which is social functioning, at least 2 or 3 times a week, which obviously now in this period, we are practicing social distancing. So this is not applicable at this stage. And I thank you for your attention.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Your golden words that active aging can minimize serious disease. We are very grateful to Professor Paul for highlighting the importance and relevance of exercises in this challenging times of COVID-19. Now for the questionnaire session, I request Dr. Rafiq Khan. Rafiq sir, please.
Yes, thank you, Ashish sir. Thank you, Ashish sir.
Yes, sir,
Hello.
please go ahead. Yeah.
Very informative session, Madam Paul. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for enlightening us.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Okay. Ma'am, nowadays we are facing problem of whole world problem facing of COVID-19. Then what is the impact of running with mask?
As I mentioned, there were concerns with regards to hypoxia and the increase in CO2 that is taken up. But it has shown that there is very little incidence of hypoxia, poisoning, or CO2 poisoning, as the mask needs to be breathable, and the choice of mask needs to be very carefully taken into consideration. So I don't think there is an impact. However, as mentioned, you need to keep your training at a very steady pace. This is not a time to increase your pace while you are using a mask for training or running.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And another question is that, ma'am.
Yes.
What are the appropriate exercise for elderly people right now?
Okay, the exercise regimes for elderly people would be water, I won't call it water aerobics, or any exercises dealing or using aqua aerobics or aqua modalities of training, due to the fact that it impacts very little on your joints. So we're trying to eliminate the impact on joints. And you would find also the usage of TheraBands or your own body weight would be quite useful. You don't need sophisticated equipment. And I think one has to move away from sophistication of equipment, because in South Africa, we are faced with very poor resourced communities, or we'll call it disadvantaged communities, whereby we cannot use expensive equipment to augment the usage or exercising in our communities.
Ma'am, one more question, please.
Yes.
What are the online medium of training right now?
Okay, the online medium of training we can use, and I think we are very creative in South Africa. We use Zoom, which is live Zoom. We also utilize videos, or with students at the university, we utilize a platform called My Tutor, which is linked up to the Blackboard. So you have a live interactive a laboratory-based exercise demonstration that's being conducted by the lecturer himself, and we would use either simulation or we would use dummies in the laboratories.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Very informative, madam. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Ashish,
Thank
sir,
you
please.
very much to the panel.
Thank you, Professor Paul. So nice of you. Now, I would like to invite the third resource person of today's international webinar, Dr. Ashish Fulkar, sir. Ashish, sir, please.
A warm good afternoon to all of you. I think I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
By the time I'll just share the screen for my presentation. Okay, so that's great. So I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So once again, a warm welcome to all of you. Let me thank St. Paul Institute of Professional Studies, Indore, Department of Physical Education. I am also thankful to the director, Shri Simon Raj, Principal, Dr. Elise Thomas, Head of the Department of Physical Education, Dr. Avinash Yadav, Coordinator of this webinar, Dr. Rafiq Khan, and I also welcome all the keynote speakers, especially Dr. Kokub Azim from King Fahd University and Professor Yon Paul. Dr. Kokan, please say hello to Dr. Rakesh Tomar, one of your colleagues who was working with me in LNIP Gwalior. And all the staff members, faculty members, students, and youth who has joined this webinar today. I was really happy to connect with Indore today through this webinar. And as I had studied from Devi Ahilya University and born and brought up in Indore, this has brought me more happiness than ever. Let me pray to God for safe and peaceful environment for all of us, and this is the time we as the manager world Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, you are audible now. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Ashish sir.
Yes.
Can you,
Ashish sir, you are audible now. Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was talking about that there is a greater responsibility as a teachers today on all of us, and we all have to see that how we can change into this situation and succumbs to nobody should succumb to this situation. So friends, today let's unlock the secret of fitness of body and mind. My earlier speakers had already told about the exercises, resistance training, and the physical activity level one has to follow through this regime. I will be talking more about the mind-body relation and how it helps you achieve a better lifestyle in the future. So friends, the body achieves what the mind believes, and mind and body fitness is nowadays more important than only working out for the body. So this will the flow of the presentation. I'll be talking a little bit about the body-mind relationship, the connection between body and mind. I will touch upon the basic principles of Ayurveda, which somehow we had forgotten, which is already present in our traditional knowledge, which has been given in our Ayurveda. I will touch upon the 5 pillars of healthy lifestyle given by Ayurveda. I will talk a little bit about Sigmund Freud theory of unconscious and conscious mind. I'll touch upon the mind-body integration. How can we achieve? What are the techniques of achieving the mind-body integration? And lastly, we will see the takeaways from this discussion. So friends, mind and body, many people things like when they want to get in shape, they start working on their bodies, starving themselves, not having enough nutrition, and they think they had worked properly on their body. But these are the same people who, after a considerable weight loss, comes back to the original weight they had, or sometimes even more than what they have reduced. So this leaves with a question whether we had properly used the technique of weight reduction, or we had trained our body and mind for this particular task. So centuries back, the Western world has used so many techniques, Zumba, CrossFit training, functional training, which are recently in use. But there is loss of focus on interconnectedness of body and mind or spirit, and how each has the power to affect and cultivate love for movement. So that connection has to be regained, I think, in this world. So if you know that the secret of happy life is the sum of healthy body and healthy mind. So if we see, how can we explain this body-mind integration? And it can be beautifully understood by our emotions. And our emotions is something which manifests in the body as our sensations or stimuli which we receive from our physical sensations. And this corresponding emotions leads to our reactions through our body. So emotions adjust not only our mental, but also our bodily state of mind. And this is beautifully explained through neuroscientist Numena, who explains that awareness of the corresponding body character subsequently triggers the conscious emotional sensations and feelings of happiness. So my dear friends, if we can understand this particular situation through an example, and if I say that somebody get aggressive and there is an aggression of frustration in his mind, and if you are a painter and you start putting brush on the paper, would you be able to do a better painting? So the answer will be no. The reason being, we cannot achieve our highest if our mind is not stable, because the body will react to the emotions or the sensations which body receives from the outside environment. So there is a greater need to develop our mind or awareness about our mind. So the training process for your mind or subconscious mind takes a longer time than training your own body. And once you start training your mind, it becomes natural habit and brings many great results. And that's what our international athletes or athletes at international level do. They prepare themselves for this training, mental rehearsal for that matter. So if you'll see this particular slide, which explains the mind-body exercise for mental health. It helps you develop your cognitive function, and it ends our cyclical thinking. As you know, if you keep on doing the same task or same method for achieving the success, you will get the same results again and again. So you have to think differently for getting a success which is sustainable for a lifelong. It reduces our anxiety. It helps you better focus on your task, and it gives you an emotional stability if you train your fitness for your mind has been achieved. It increases your self-esteem and confidence of presenting yourself in front of the society, and it achieves better well-being by doing this. Now, this is a very important slide because I'm going to discuss about the 5 pillars of Ayurveda, which has been given for our healthy lifestyle. And these 5 pillars are Ahar, Vihar, Achar, Vichar, and Vyavhar. So if you look at these 5 pillars, which is already given in our traditional knowledge, which is present in the Ayurveda, the first pillar is Ahar. And Ahar means food. Annam Brahma means the food is Brahma. It is the creation of Lord. So there is an old age saying which says that the food so mind, as the mind so the man. So what you are and what you become is what you eat. And this pillar says that Ahar has been divided into 3 different forms of food, which are known as Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic food. So if you talk about Sattvic food, it is very simple food, and it is a traditional Indian thali which we talk about. This gives lots of energy and nutrition, keeps the mind stable, and this food type includes milk, milk products, fresh fruits, dry fruits, seasonal vegetables, seasonal fruits, which comes under Sattvic food. The Rajasic food creates a restless mind, and these foods are difficult to digest, like non-veg. There may be different food of thought for this, but non-sprouted beans, pulses, garlic, and as the recent studies has come, the most of the people who are carrier of COVID-19 are the people who are eating non-veg more. So we have to think about our food choices now. Now, Tamasic food, for that matter, creates a lethargic mind, and this includes junk food, the food which is stored for a longer period of time, frozen foods. These are the food category which comes under Tamasic food. The second pillar is Vihar, which means recreation. And recreation is literally meaning is moving or walking or coming out of the stressful situation. As you know, today's life is very stressful on day-to-day basis. There are a lot of stress on the television through our media channels. And this stress varies from person to person. So for them, relaxation and getting distressed is something should be a way of life. The third pillar talks about Achar. Achar means Acharan, is a routine. Now we have to think how often that we takes a day off and from our hassled work, and you have a routine where you exercise every day, or you have a routine which you follow for your food, exercising, and sleep. So this routine has to be consistent to achieve better result for your healthy lifestyle. The fourth pillar is Vichar, and it depicts our intellectual health and is rightly dependent on how positively we think, how positive our thoughts are, what are our food for our mind. Like Buddha says that based on your thinking, you become the person you are. And the fifth and the last pillar is Vyavhar. That is healthy relationship or our social status and social health, how we behave in the society and how our knowledge can impact positively to our society comes under this fifth pillar. Now, we should also know that if you will see this slide, this gives you a certain studies and certain research which says that negative emotions can create nervous system chaos, but positive emotions do the opposite. And positive emotions can boost your, immunity. That's one important thing which we have to learn. The positive emotions also create physiological benefits to our body as it helps secrete happy hormones. So what are the most interesting ideas of Sigmund Freud, which we have to learn here is that in 1856 to 1839, it was the time when he was known as the father of psychoanalysis, and he invented the methods of treating mental illnesses. And Freud believed that the events in our childhood have a greater influence on our adult lives, which shapes our personality. He says that, for example, an anxiety which is originated from a traumatic experience of a person in the past hidden from consciousness and may cause problems during his adulthood and also may affect his later life for that matter. So he gave two scenarios of mind. One was conscious mind and one was unconscious mind. So if you will see, Sigmund Freud depicts our mind as an iceberg, and what you see at the above the sea level or above the water level is our conscious mind, which is just the tip of the iceberg. And the small amount of mental activity, we know what we see day to day life, the media, TV, mobile, whatever we are thinking or seeing is we are doing it through our conscious mind. But the subconscious mind is very difficult to train, like things we could not be aware of and we wanted or tried, and which is beneath our conscious mind. And very few people can achieve the unconscious mind. So this is a very important thing. If we can try and train our unconscious mind, which is mostly present in the scientists, which is mostly present in the innovators, the people who are creative enough. So conscious mind is the difference between being awake and asleep and having control of one's behavior. They know what is right, what is wrong. For the youth who are listening, how many of you knows that alcohol, smoking, or not sleeping enough time is not good for our health, but still we are sleeping on these aspects. So we have to train our conscious mind to see that what is positive and what is negative in whatever we achieve. So having control of one's behavior is the example of your conscious mind. Being able to focus on one's attention on one thing, being able to discriminate, categorize, and react to stimuli, what we get from our surroundings is the example of conscious mind. So when we come in stressful situations, the stress is a state of mind. And when we are in stressful situations, our mind reacts in two different ways, that is fight or flight. So either we fight that situation and eradicate that particular problem from our life, or we run away from the problems and see what are the how we can run away from the problem. This is the second aspect which we think about. So my suggestion is if we can think about the 3F's formula, whenever a problem arrives or stress arrives, you can do three important things. That is, face the problem, face it, fight it, and finish it. So these are the 3F's formula which can help you better your life. Now coming to the research, we can see the changes in our body within seconds. And Michelle Olson, who is PhD and senior clinical professor of exercise physiology in Huntington University in Montgomery, Alabama, who has studied the effect of exercises. And as she says that as you work out, your lungs gets better, your motivation levels gets higher and you start burning calories. But when you start working out for an hour, you start protecting yourself against cold, flu, and you start building immunity. Your mood enhances, and you release chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, and you are blasting more calories even at rest. You become more hungry, and within the 1 week, your muscle gets strengthened, your headache is gone, and starts getting better. And as you reach the 1 week of your regular exercise, your risk of diabetes reduces. You can push harder next time and you start getting slimmer. And within 1 month of regular exercise, you are getting stronger. Your belly goes back and you got more brain power. And within 1 year of exercise, your exercising become easier. You start working out. You start loving your exercising. You start melting your fat as a fat melting machine. Your heart improves and you add life to your health. So if you see what effect the exercise makes to your brain, just going back to the presentation, if you do lift weights, it affects your prefrontal cortex, and complex thinking, reasoning, and multiple tasking and problem solving abilities increases as resistance training was what talked about by Kokuk Abzin sir in the previous presentation. This helps us to see that our prefrontal cortex of our brain gets developed. The sports drills are also controlled by this part of our brain. But if you do yoga, it takes you deeper inside the brain and it helps you develop your frontal lobe, integrates thoughts and emotions, which are gets into better control through yogic exercises, and you can control over your fear and anxiety by doing this. If you do perform high intensity interval training, it affects your hypothalamus, and which affects your appetite or your food habits. And your aerobic exercises again affects your hippocampus or memory because it sets on certain aerobic exercises which we perform again develops your neural pathway. So what is the interrelation between the body, mind, and spirit which we can achieve through our fitness regime is that fitness helps your body benefits in a different way. It improves your heart, your cardiac output improves, and obesity, you can fight your obesity. But the fitness also is helpful in benefiting your mind. The reason being, as it increases the blood flow and releases happy chemicals that helps you feel better emotionally. And lastly, it helps you raise your spirit, because the spirit is the absolute essence of who you are, and you start believing in yourself and your self-esteem. So underneath your physical body, there is a separate form of mind which lies as a river of flowing life. And from ancient physical and spiritual discipline of yoga, committing to the lifestyle of fitness can certainly help you develop better coordination between body, mind, and spirit. So I hope you understand the difference between brain and mind, because the brain, which is the center of nervous system, and it controls all the nervous system functioning and coordinates the movements and thoughts between the body and brain. But the mind is something beyond brain. We all use the mind to think, feel, and respond. The mind refers to the person's understanding of things and also his consciousness. And mind also refers to a person's thought process. So, dear friends, we all see the things very straightforward. But if you take an example of Sir Isaac Newton, who was sitting just under a tree and he saw an apple falling from tree, and his mind was thoughtful of thinking why apples comes down. Nobody has thought why apple or the things which have been thrown up comes down to the earth. And that's how the great laws of Newton's were invented. So what are the physical impacts of negative emotions on the body? So if you'll see at the right side of the slide, yellow indicates, yellow indicates the higher level of activity in the body, followed by your blue, which indicates down below. Then black indicates the neutral activity which is happening in the body, and followed by the red. So if you'll see, the two bodies which have been shown in the slide was happy, when you have a feeling of happiness and love, which impacts your body very highly, because when we study through EMG or electromyography, we had seen more activities in the body when you are happy or either you are loving someone, because these are the activities which are of higher active centers. So if you'll see the physical impact of positive emotions on the body, like happiness, love, pride, anxiety, excitement, motivation, and cheerfulness. These are the activities, for that matter, these are the activities, laughter for that matter, these are the activities which helps you develop more higher activity levels in the brain. So, my dear friends, it is very important that we don't only train our body, but the positive impact of the happy life is cheerfulness, happiness, and involving ourselves in such activities. Now, I will explain certain techniques which I had seen in some of the researches, which helps you to achieve body-mind fitness, because there may be a question which will be asked, then how to achieve this body-mind relation or body-mind fitness. And these techniques are very important. We need to understand this, all techniques one by one. So if you'll see, the first technique is mindfulness based on the stress reduction. And mindfulness technique is based on some of the therapies which have been used in the spas. And as Kara explains, she is the neuroscientist. She says that mindful starts from with the body, noticing the details of what sensations we feel. Say, starting with your toes, they tap your toes and ask what are the sensations you feel on the, and we arouse our sensation, try and react what body experiences and how body experiences those sensations. The second technique is our meditation, and it is the traditional technique which depends exhale and inhale through air through our nostrils, and we try and concentrate on breathe. And this is the techniques we use in meditation, which is been taught in yoga. The third technique is progressive muscle relaxation techniques, which we achieve through relaxation therapies or massage, Swedish massage techniques, and which helps you develop a body intelligence. And this process results in reduced physical stress and tension, which has been released from the muscles and tissues. The another technique which has been used by the sportsmen nowadays are biofeedback technique, and this is used through body state is been seen through the electrodes which are been inserted in our different body parts and in our nervous system, and we try and study what effects of exercises is happening on our nervous system and our body and brain. So this is another technique which has been used using the biofeedback technique. And the last technique which has been used to achieve body-mind fitness is yoga, Tai Chi, or Qigong. And these three physical practices, which has been practiced in China, Japan, and all these countries, focuses on using body movements and the flow of movements through which we draw attention to our internal experiences. And we use our steady movement and steady pace of movements, which helps you relax and reduce your physical stress. So my dear friends, if you'll see, what is the take-home message today from all these discussions is that our mind and body are the greatest tools we have. And if you have to fight this pandemic situations, we have to achieve the positive well-being, and it will help you boost your immunity. Second thing is we have to commit to the practices such as progressive muscle relaxation or the techniques which I had talked about in the last slide to strengthen our body-mind connection. And lastly, we have to use these 5 practices, at least one of these in our lifestyle, so that we can build up better immune system. And lastly, I will try and give you the recipe of happiness. And there are ingredients to my left side and method of how to use these ingredients at my right side. So if 2-headed cup of patience, 1 heartful of love, 2 handful of generosity, and 1 handful of understanding. These are the ingredients if you can use and mix all these ingredients with little bit of generosity and kindness. Add faith and mix it well. Add a dash of laughter over a period of time. Serve smilingly to your friends, to everybody you meet, and spread happiness. Have a healthy, happy life ahead. I will end my presentation with what Plato says, that we should not exercise the body without the joint assistance of mind, and nor exercise the mind without the joint assistance of the body. With this, I would like to end my presentation and I hand over the session to the coordinators. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Ashish sir, for your recipe for happiness. We are very grateful for that. Your session touched various dimensions of exercises from ancient Ayurveda to applied psychoanalysis and to the modern biofeedback techniques and also yoga, tai chi, and qigong. For that, you highlighted the fitness, health, the overall success. It is the absolute essence of life, and fitness is the river of flowing life. Thank you for that. For further question and session, I would like to invite the HOD of Physical Education Department, Dr. Avinash sir.
Thank you, Ashish sir, for giving us very useful information. We have some questions from the audience side.
Okay.
Yes, sir. My first question is, can we train our sportsmen to achieve more by using mind training?
Yeah, exactly, Dr. Avinash. Nowadays, this is the study that entire strength training or entire training has been concentrated on training the mind, because first the sensation of those activity. So nowadays entire research is on how to train our mind. The neuroscientists are working on it. If you've heard about proprioceptive training, wherein we try and build up our training methodologies where we create better pathway for the movements and we practice those pathways, and so that there is a better neuro connection or neuron pathways which has been created, so that a higher level of skill has been utilized. So the good sportsmen, what they do is they try and see the highest level of achievements done by the sportsmen, and they try and perform that skill in that way and try and connect whether I was up to the mark to that highest level. And they again take a biofeedback and they go back and perform the skill, and so that they get a neural pathway which helps you build them getting better performance for the future. So yes, we have to train our sportsmen more for the mind than the body.
Okay, thank you, sir. My next question is, how can fitness workout help us to develop our body, mind, and spirit?
Yeah, I had discussed this in my presentation, that we have to achieve a proper connection between body, mind, and soul, or say spirit. As if you'll see, what is body? Body is our being. We perform our tasks through our body. Body is a medium of performing activity, task, or movement. So it helps maintain muscle tissues, keeps our heart strong, strengthens our bone, and for which we have to work on our body. But equally, there are people who are working on the body, but they are criminals, isn't it? So we say that then we lack somewhere something, that they had worked on their body, but they're another part or so in society, they are not so well treated. So there is another aspect that we have to also plan to, exercise our mind, and which can give us significant results of emotional stability, to deal with the stress, anxiety, and other disorders like depressions, for which we have to exercise for our mind, and how to tackle certain situations which can be stressful in our life. So that will give you more control over our mind and behavior. And the third is our spirit. The spirit is the absolute essence of what you are, who you are. So underneath this particular thing, which we also have to train our spirit, is it takes to us to a journey where, while exercising our body and mind, it also purifies ourselves to take positive decisions in the life, and we become committed to be positive and take right decisions in the life. So this three connection has to be formed through our fitness.
Okay, sir, two more questions.
Okay.
Can we train our mind to achieve weight loss?
Yeah, exactly. Uh, when it's a very good question, because I have been working in the fitness industry for almost 15 years, and most of the weight loss programs failed because the people were not committed, or they had worked out, but they don't have a control on their habits or commitments to the food habits. So they keep on trying the same thing, and the results were they started regaining their weight again and again. So what we achieve through the journey of weight loss is control of mind. And most of the good trainers, they always keep a track on what you do. They try and keep check on your habits. So commitments is something which we can make through changing our habits, and habits can be changed when we get a better control over on our mind. So it is the mind which is more helpful in getting the weight loss.
Okay, thank you. My last question is, sir,
Okay.
what it is said that body and mind are two wheels of bull cart?
Yeah, we cannot set it apart. As I said in the beginning, that there is a saying that healthy mind resides in the healthy body, and these are the two wheels of the cart, and we cannot separate. If you have to train, at least in your fitness regime, you keep one session for training your mind, or the techniques which I had talked about in my presentation. This will definitely going to help.
Thank you, Ashish sir. Thank you
Thank you,
very much
Avinash sir.
for giving good information.
Thank you all the speakers and SPIPS. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Uh, Now we coming to the end of our session. And before that, before I call Dr. Avinash for a vote of thanks, there is an important instruction for all the participants. Please note it. A feedback link will be soon generated on the WhatsApp group. Kindly fill that feedback link, and you will be getting all your e-certificates in 6 to 8 days. So thank you all. So I kindly invite Dr. Avinash sir for a vote of thanks. Avinash sir, over to you, please.
Thank you, Ashish sir. Honorable Director, Reverend Father Simon Lodge, respected Principal, Dr. Sister Alice Thomas, respected resource person, all my dear colleagues and participants. Good afternoon to all. I, Dr. Avinash Yadav, delighted to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Physical Education, St. Paul Institute of Professional Studies, Indore, on this platform of a webinar. Firstly, I am thankful to our today's resource person, Dr. Kokeb Azim, Professor Yone Paul, and Dr. Ashish Fulkar for their deep, insightful lecture on the topic managing physical fitness of body and mind, which was full of wisdom and information. Once again, I thank you, sir and ma'am, for honoring us with your presence. I extend my sincere thanks to our director, Reverend Father Simon Raj, and Principal Dr. Sister Alice Thomas for providing us this wonderful opportunity to organize this webinar. A very special thanks to all the participants for being a great audience, as no program can become successful without team efforts. So I would like to thank Dr. Rafiq Khan, Dr. Anil Milchandani, Professor Ankul Sodani, Dr. Ravi Vyas, Professor Asay Joshi, our sports committee team members, staff members for their coordination and support. Thank you all.
Thank you. This
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, let me thank on the onset that you have done a wonderful job, St. Paul Institute of Professional Studies Indore. Only thing is, if you can share your YouTube link with all the speakers so that we can be able to view the feedbacks and our YouTube presentations. And I am really thankful to Kokka Wajim sir and madam who has joined from South Africa. So thanks once again for sharing this platform. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to all the honorary resource persons. With this, we come to the end of our session. Thanks to all of you. A very good day to all.
Ashay sir.
Hello.
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 हाँ Ashay sir.
Avinash sir, yes. Am I audible?
हाँ मेरी आवाज आ रही थी ना?
Yes, yes, yes.
What are things?
Yes, yes.
Okay sir. Okay. So Ravi sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible, Ravi sir?
Might be some network problem is there.
हेलो
हेलो रवि सर.
हाँ सर.
हाँ जी रवि सर कहाँ है?
चलो तो ऑल
हेलो.
चलो सर सभी को धन्यवाद दे दो. अब इनफॉर्मल.
हेलो थैंक्स टू ऑल द टीम मेंबर्स. हम सभी के एफर्ट से सक्सेसफुल रहा अपना वेबिनार. सो थैंक्स अ लॉट ऑल द मेंबर्स.
Congratulations, Avinash sir and Rafiq sir.
थैंक यू मैडम.
थैंक यू सईदा मैडम.
थैंक यू आशय सर.
सर
अंकुल सर, रवि सर, अनिल सर.
Congratulations.
Thanks to all. Thanks to all.
Anil sir, thank you, Anil sir.
Thank you. Congratulations all.
Congratulations to Avinash sir and Rafiq sir for successfully conduct of this event. Thank you.
Ashay sir, good anchoring.
Thank you, ma'am. Father and sister are also there.
Father, sister also there.
Yeah. Hello.
ठीक है सर, ठीक है. मतलब वही नेटवर्क की प्रॉब्लम है.
नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम आ रही. अंकुर सर है क्या?
अंकुर सर लीव कर गए थे.
अच्छा वो मीटिंग है ना 3 बजे से.
हाँ उसी सेटिंग में होंगे.
ठीक. चलो सर एंड करें फिर.
आशीष सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपने बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प करी, बहुत ज्यादा सपोर्ट किया, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू. माय प्लेजर.
बहुत
इट वाज अ वेरी नाइस सेशन.
हाँ सर बहुत अच्छा लगा.
थैंक यू सर, आशीष सर, अंकुर सर, आप लोगों की बहुत कोऑपरेशन रहा।
थैंक यू
अंकुर सर चलेगा इसमें से।
वेलकम।
अंकुर सर को अपन अलग से फोन करके बोल देंगे।
हाँ,
अंकुर सर
मीटिंग
चलेगा।
वी आर हैविंग अ मीटिंग एट 3 o'clock
हाँ
actually.
हाँ ठीक है सर, ठीक है सर, फिर अपन छोड़ते हैं इसको।
मैं एंड कर रहा हूँ। जी जी,
एंड कर दीजिए, एंड कर
गुड डे टू ऑल,
दीजिए।
गुड डे टू ऑल।
ओके, गुड डे।
Good, all the best. All the best to all of you. Yes.
थैंक यू फादर, थैंक यू
थैंक
फादर।
यू फादर, थैंक यू फादर।
Done well. Good.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, sister.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
congratulations to
Thank
all.
you, Father.
थैंक यू सिस्टर, थैंक यू सिस्टर,
Congratulations, nice, no? Go on.
थैंक यू सिस्टर।
Best wishes.
थैंक यू सिस्टर।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
Thank you.